Hello, welcome to Community Talk today. I am Brad Mendenhall, and I am so excited to be here today with a good friend of mine, Miss Brittany Juliano. But Brittany is with us here today to be talking about a great annual event coming up here for this region of Oklahoma called Feed the Neighborhood. Brittany, welcome to Community Talk today. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
My goodness, Feed the Neighborhood is once again up on us.
It has come, yes.
It has come. So tell us real quickly, just right out the bat here, when is Feed the Neighborhood this year?
So Feed the Neighborhood is going to be August 14th. It's on a Sunday, so it's every second Sunday in August. So we're going to kick it off August 14th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
And Feed the Neighborhood, what is Feed the Neighborhood? Somebody's probably watching today, have no idea what Feed the Neighborhood is, so tell us what Feed the Neighborhood is.
Absolutely. So Feed the Neighborhood is, as I said, an annual event that we have that we just prepare the students, elementary students, 1st through 8th grade, to prepare them to really have enough school supplies and as well as sock, shoe, underwear vouchers, all that to prepare them for the coming school year. So we just want every student to go into their first day of school confident because they have everything that they need. So what I love about Feed the Neighborhood is that it is really a community event where we have the whole family come out. There's games, inflatables, as well as, health screening. So the students will be really prepared to feel confident as they walk in that first day of school. Yeah.
So it's a citywide event that's geared to really help kids get ready for that first day of school, which is just a few weeks away. Yeah. Hard to believe, summer is almost over. But tell us just a little bit about why do this? Why help these kids? I mean, is there really a need needed for this?
Yeah, so this is actually going to be the 16th year for Feed the Neighborhood. So way back 16 years ago, we had the very first event. So it was really just called Feed the Neighborhood, and there was a group of volunteers from a church that said, let's just get together and serve our community however way we can. So they were just going to cook a few hamburgers, have some games for the kids. And so there was one volunteer in one of their meetings that said we should offer not just candy for prizes for the kids, but also school supplies. And everybody was like, no kid is going to want to choose school supplies over candy, but they figured, let's just try it. So they had the event in August 16 years ago, and they were blown away to realize that almost, an hour into the event, all the school supplies were gone. Wow. So the kids were choosing school supplies over candy in our community. And they pretty much stumbled upon this unknown need that kids needed school supplies. They needed, some form of way to get prepared for school because school supplies were just getting too expensive for the families within parts of our community. And so Feed the Neighborhood, we're not just here to be here and to give ourselves a pat on the back, but we're really here to meet that need, to show our community that, us as businesses, as churches want to rally around you and to provide that need and make sure that the kids within Garfield County have everything that they need to really pursue their dreams, especially in education.
Yeah. In your dealings with the community and the school systems around Enid, do you see that there is that big need other than that event that happened many years ago for Feed the Neighborhood where they begin to choose that? But do you see that there is a need in our community for people that needing help going back to school? Oh,
absolutely. And something that blew me away, talking to Superintendent, he pretty much said and gave us some statistics that there's like 72% of our students within our public school system that are on free and reduced lunch.
Wow.
In some schools, it's up to 98%. And so there is definitely a need for these students, especially those who are living in poverty or just, not as well off to really get the school supplies that they need because, their family may not be in the best position to be able to provide that for them.
I know one thing in my experience being involved for several years with Feed the Neighborhood is that what we see is a lot of large families coming through there because, for a family maybe with 1 or 2 kids, it may not be that big of a burden, but when you've got 3 or 4 or 5, however many kids in the household, and it seems to be a greater burden, and that's what we see a lot of times there at Feed the Neighborhood.
Absolutely.
As many of these large families going through because they just need that help, and tell us a little bit about the what is given away there. I know you mentioned about the supplies. Tell us a little bit about the supplies. What else is given away at Feed the Neighborhood?
So when you come to the event, it starts at 5 o'clock. So we initially start off with giving the backpacks and the school supplies. And so they move through the line, they'll get their backpacks, their school supplies, and then we also are giving away vouchers. So these vouchers are to help the families pay for socks and underwear. So we have an $8 sock and underwear voucher, and then a $10 shoe voucher, and those are both to Walmart. So they can go to Walmart and redeem those and get socks, shoes, and underwear for the kids.
So the voucher, that's good for $8 for the socks and underwear, $10 for the shoes.
Absolutely.
You know, that $10 probably ain't going to buy them a pair of shoes, but at least that'll go a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they could get, you know, good pair of shoes on clearance for even $10, or they can get a nicer pair and just have to spend $2 out of pocket, maybe $10 out of pocket.
So the school supplies, tell me a little bit about the school supplies. So they're going to get the school supplies. Is that everything they need for the school?
It is, depending on what grade they're in, it's a majority of what they need. So we like to say they're basic school supplies. They may have to buy one or two more particulars in specific items for certain classes, but they have a majority of everything that they need. So there's pen, paper, pencils, we have rulers, just multiple things within that school supply packet. And so, and even on top of that, I'm so excited because this year we're also, you know, not just handing out vouchers and school supplies, but we get to add on a whole new portion for healthcare, and not just healthcare, but health services that we offer. And so, you know, in years past, we've done like health screenings, which has been great, but since we've been outdoors, it's been so hot. And so, so now we get to offer, you know, different health services that we offer.
What are some of those health services is going to be offered this year for the neighborhood?
So we're going to have our basic health screenings that we usually do, and then the Garfield Health Department has come on board again this year for the second time to offer, they're going to check for the immunization records for the student. So they'll go to that area, and then if they realize, oh, I still need immunizations in order to get back to school, then they can move to this other line where Passport Health is coming on board, and they are going to be offering to the insured and uninsured free immunizations.
Oh, wow. So they can actually get immunizations at Feed the Neighborhood this year.
So we are providing for the first time ever on-site free immunizations. And I will say this, for the people who are coming, the families that are insured, just bring your insurance card, and that's all they need to do in order to get the free immunization.
Awesome. And of course, we haven't even gotten to the biggest news of Feed the Neighborhood this year. If those people that are out there watching, if you've been to Feed the Neighborhood event, in the past it's been at Governor Springs Park all these years, and of course the second weekend of August is always just incredible hot here in Oklahoma. But tell us the good news about Feed the Neighborhood this year. I understand we're making a move this year.
Yes, so the good news, and I'm so excited to announce it, is that we are moving indoors for a portion of it at Central National Bank Center. So they have come on board as our executive producer of the event to just really provide the needed air conditioning for these families, because we have families that, the event starts at 5 p.m. We have families coming all the way from 8 a.m. in the morning and have to wait out in that heat. So for them to be able to provide that space for these families to be able to just sit in air conditioning for at least that portion. And it also, as I said, allows us to do that health portion. So last year we wanted to provide immunizations, but we couldn't. So because it was so hot outside. So this year we will be able to do that. And with our location change, we don't have everything to not enough room to do everything within the Central National Bank Center. So we're also having the David Allen Memorial Ballpark. And they came on board as well as an executive producer of the event. And so that will be where our whole fun family festival environment's going to be, with our blow-ups, inflatables, food, all that. So that gives us seating as well as shade in the ballpark. So we're just really blessed this year to be able to move.
So we're going from Government Springs Park just a few blocks back to the west a little bit there to the Central National Bank Event Center and the David Allen Ballpark there. So again, tell us the date and the time.
So the date is going to be August 14th from 5 to 8 p.m. and that's on a Sunday.
Okay. Now, if families are coming out, they're like, I need these supplies. What's their instruction? Where do they go? When do they need to get there? What do they need to do? If they need the supplies.
Absolutely. So when the families come in, you're going to want to park around the Central National Bank Center, probably on that west side. And so when the families come in, they'll come through the south side entrance there, and they'll walk in, and we'll have signs everywhere that says line starts here. So when they get into that center on that day of, because it is first come, first serve. So
first come, first serve.
Families, will probably show up anywhere between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And so as the families walk into the center, we'll have signs that show exactly where they need to go. And so they'll wait in line all the way until 5 p.m. And when they start, you must have your child with you, and you must have a parent. So the child and the parent needs to be in line, or at least a guardian.
Okay. And so what's the requirement to get them? I mean, do they need some information?
Yeah.
Will you need information from them in order to get the backpack and the school supplies and the vouchers?
Absolutely. So the only thing that you will need, as long as the child has the parent or guardian with them, they can go through the line, and we just need the name of the child, the grade, as well as the school that they attend. Okay. And once we get that information, they'll move right through the line, and they can get their free backpack and their school supplies.
So if somebody needs more information on this, what do they need to do? Is there a website, email, phone number? What do we have for that?
Yeah, so if they want more information, we have a great website that just came up this year. So it's ftnenid.org.
ftnenid.org.
Yes. Okay. And so they can click on that website. They can find out, our mission, our vision of what we do. They can also get the consent form for the students. If your student's going to get immunizations, you can print off a consent form, fill that out before you even get there so that you can move right through that line. Also, for those who want to volunteer, we have a volunteer segment where they can fill out their volunteer information and come out and volunteer for that event. And then as well as there's a sponsorship page where you can see all of our sponsors that we have, and then they can also become a corporate sponsor. And so there's information about all of that on our website. And then if you're a private donor and you just want to donate, there's a donate button for that as well on our website.
Okay. Now, if they want to contact you directly, is your contact information there on the website, or at least an email contact there?
Yeah, so all of my information should be on the website, but for those who are interested, it's Brittany at ftnenid.org.
Brittany, A-N-Y, with an A-N-Y.
Yes, that's right, B-R-I-T-T-A-N-Y.
At FTN.
Enid.org. Yep.
Awesome.
And so they can email me anytime, especially if your company wants to sponsor, you just want to volunteer, whatever it may be. So
where are we at on sponsorships? I mean, I know this all is an effort by churches and businesses coming together. Corporate world with what I call the volunteer world too, the spiritual side of that too, to make this happen. Is there still a need for sponsorships?
Yes, we have a great need to get enough money for our vouchers that we hand out. So we have seen, it's crazy because almost 85% of all the vouchers we hand out are redeemed. And that is a very high percentage, especially for vouchers. And so there's a great need for our vouchers, and to hand those out, kids need their socks, underwears, and their shoes. And we are still low on monetary donations for our vouchers.
So looking still for some corporate sponsors. Yes. And talk to us just a little bit here, as I know we're starting to run out of time, but tell us some of the businesses and the sponsors that we do have.
Yes.
Who some are those?
So I just have, I want to be able to get everybody that I have. And so some of the churches coming on board are absolutely fantastic. And we have just a few of our churches is World Harvest Church, the Vine Church, Covenant Life Church is there, Central Assembly of God, Emmanuel Baptist is on board, as well as Grace Ministries. And
that's cool.
And so we're really excited to have all of the churches come on board, offering bicycles, tons of volunteers. We really couldn't do it without our churches. And then we have insurance companies like AAA Insurance, Lyle Nickel. He's been a great support, very high sponsorship level, as well as, and I also want to give a shout out to Walmart because they give us, we're a community receiver grant, and so they really work on us with the vouchers, and as well as Rick's Pharmacy. These are just a few of some of our sponsors.
More. I know Advanced Foods is helping a lot this year too.
And Advanced Foods is one of our biggest ones because they are donating all of the backpacks as well as different food items and whatnot.
Awesome. So a great event, August the 14th at the Central National Bank Event Center and the David Allen Ballpark, school supplies, all these other things. Tell me in 10 seconds a little bit more some of those other activities real quickly. I know you mentioned bicycle giveaways.
Yeah, we have a bicycle giveaway. Around 30 kids will get a bike, as well as we'll have popcorn, we'll have cotton candy, we'll have games, we'll have food, we'll have face painting for all the kids. And then we're hoping to also hand out hygiene and household items as well. So we have a lot of good community events for this family.
Awesome. All right. Well, great event. Feed the Neighborhood 2016 here just a few days away. You don't want to miss out on that. 5 to 8 p.m. on August the 14th at the Central National Bank Event Center in the David Allen Ballpark. We're looking forward to that. More information, ftnenid.org. Brittany, we're looking for a great event, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, hello. This is Community Talk. I'm Patrick Farrell, and I'm a volunteer at the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center. We are so pleased to have with us today Andi Holland, the director of the center. Andi, thank you for taking time from a busy day and a busy week to be here with us.
Thank you, Pat. It's my pleasure.
I just want to touch on, you had a presence out at the observation at the base a week ago.
Yes, for the air show.
Yes.
What a great event that was, and quite a coup for a relatively smaller base in the scheme of things to have such a fantastic air show with the Thunderbirds. Because of the Keep 'em Flying exhibit that we have on display right now, it garnered us kind of a special spot. We were right in the middle of things.
Were you?
We happened to be in the shade in one of the hangars, which was a real blessing because it was hot outside.
It was,
But we
yes.
had a very prominent location, and we got to talk about the exhibit all day long. We had fun activities for the kids. They could come and put pieces of a plane together.
Oh, goodness.
We had a World War II mural of a factory where planes were being made, and so kind of set the stage for them. We had the chance to do a little bit of education while we were there, and it was just a great day for the Heritage Center.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It honored the 75th anniversary and is still honoring the 75th
That is
anniversary
true.
in the gallery.
That is true. We had another fun thing happen right after the air show. Mayor Shuey came by to see us, and he had been awarded, well, the city had been awarded a beautiful picture signed by the Thunderbirds.
Oh,
And he asked if we could display it as part of the exhibit.
Oh, perfect.
Through the run of the exhibit. So, of course, we were happy to do that.
Well, of course, yes. But it dovetails everything together, doesn't it? From
Yeah,
1940
to present.
to the present.
Right.
And I think that was a marvelous thing.
Yeah,
really
very
a marvelous
fitting.
thing.
So.
Well, let's kind of review what's going on this month, shall we? You have a brown bag lunch coming up August 10th?
August 10th, yes.
Okay.
And we're going to be featuring Aaron Preston, who is our archivist.
Yes.
And this is kind of a little known fact. He's going to be talking about little known facts
Is
about
he?
Vance Air Force Base on his brown bag presentation, but also little known facts. He researched and wrote all of the script for the Keep 'em Flying exhibit.
He did.
He did.
No small task.
No small task.
No.
And so he's kind of been under the radar for a long time, but he is quite a talented man, and he is going to share some of the more interesting, maybe not so well known things about life at Vance Air Force Base and some of the people that have passed through in the years and share those revelations with us at the brown bag. Of course, our brown bags are always held the second Wednesday of the month, and they're held out in our church.
Which is air conditioned.
Yeah, yes, it is air conditioned, held at noon. And it truly is a brown bag. People bring their lunches all the time, nothing to feel funny about. It's all free, and we usually have a really good audience. So you need to get there a few minutes early if you want a good seat. So.
And Aaron, as an archivist, he has a very special niche in your endeavor at the museum, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he sure does. You know, really, when you think about it, a lot of what we know historically is written. I mean, artifacts supplement that, but without a written history, so much depth of our history would be gone. And that's what he cares for.
Does it?
It's not just letters and, you know, business papers, it's maps, it's photographs, it's journals, it's newspapers. So without those things, you know, without those documents, our history would be extremely shallow. And so the preservation, because they're fragile to begin with,
Yes.
Put time on them, and then you're really talking about major efforts to care and to preserve them. And so he does a very, very important job, and he does it quite well. The other side of that is most of the exhibits that we mount are researched by the archivist.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, most of the exhibits we mount the script is written by the archivist.
Oh, really?
And so, that's where a lot of our exhibit ideas come from. They start in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I just read this story, and all of a sudden you've got a great idea for an exhibit. That's how Grant County came along. We
Yes,
came across
that's
some
right.
documents related to the Chisholm Trail, because of course next year is the 150th anniversary of the Chisholm Trail, which we will be documenting through an exhibit. But we were working on starting research on that and came across this whole treasure
Yes.
of information about what was happening actually in Grant County. And you don't hear much about Grant County today.
No?
But back in the late 1800s, it was quite the place. And
Well, that's interesting.
yeah, and so what the archivist does is really quite remarkable. And so his talk on Wednesday will be something that you'll want to hear, and you'll find it very engaging.
Well, he will give us the story and history of people and places that are preserved for generations to come.
Well, that's true. That's true. And again, it all feeds back to us celebrating the 75th
Certainly.
anniversary events.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Well,
so it's very
I think
fitting.
That's pretty special.
Pretty special stuff. Yes, it is.
And then, now the fall lecture series is coming up later in August.
It is. We do the fall lecture series every year.
Yes.
And normally it is all of them are just one after another in 1 month. And because of the guests that we have this year and because of the topic, we had to get on their schedules. And
yes.
so it's working out a little bit differently this year, but I'm liking it. So we'll start our fall lecture series actually in August the 22nd. They'll be held at NOC in the Gantz Center, as they have been for many years. Start at 7 o'clock, just like always. But we will have one in August, one in September, and one in October.
Well,
And so our speaker to kick off our fall lecture series is Dr. Brad Agnew, and he is a now retired professor from Northeastern State University. But his real focus is what was happening in Oklahoma during World War II.
yes.
We very often look at it from, well, what was happening in World War II, and you go across the sea to Europe. But what actually was going on here during those years? And I think you're going to find it quite interesting.
Yes, I think so. Rationing itself in World War II.
Exactly, and that's going to be a big part of his talk. It was a time of change in so many ways for women. I mean, the
Yes.
roles changed, and they stayed changed up until that time. Women were in the home and taking care of the family, and they were the bread makers instead of the bread winners. And then World War
phrase.
Yeah, and then World War II comes along, and now they're the breadwinners. And so there's going to be a lot of interesting aspects of life.
And for many of the young men that served, of which many, it was their first excursion out of their home states
Oh yeah.
to serve their country.
Oh yeah.
And that's been, I think, a very noble thing that, although it was a tragedy the war was, but nonetheless, it opened up a lot of avenues for people.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah.
It sure did. So I think that our fall lecture series is probably going to be one of the best that we have ever had.
Great.
I'll give you just a little sneak piece of information. Our September speaker is actually the top ace out of the Vietnam War.
Is he? Wow.
And then our October speaker was a young student pilot here at Vance Air Force Base.
Was he?
Came back as commander of Vance Air Force Base.
Goodness.
Now is a general or retired. But what his focus is going to be is he was in command of Vance Air Force Base during 9/11.
Oh, I see, yes.
And it's going to be very interesting information that he shares with us.
Sure. And this is the 22nd
Of August.
at
NOC in
at
the
Gant
Gant Center. Yep.
And it's free.
And it's free. And we hope that people will come
Okay.
out.
Now that brings us to the Lantern Tour,
Yes.
which is in September.
Yes. Lantern tours are always such a special gift for us to give the community during our celebration of the Cherokee Strip. And this year it actually happens on the anniversary date, September
does
the
it really?
16th.
I'll be
Yes, so
darned.
we're looking forward to that. And very fitting for this climate and this season that we're in, we're talking about gambling, alcohol, and politics.
What could be more appropriate?
So, the three evils of our lives. So,
And that are still being discussed
I'm sure
today.
that it will be rowdy and fun and something that you won't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now, $10 at the Heritage Center.
So-
And it's always a sellout, so I would urge
Yes,
people
it is. Yes,
to,
it is.
to get their
And
tickets.
that time of the year, it's a lovely time to be in the Humphrey Heritage Village
Oh, yeah.
and the
It's-
tour.
That's true. It's beautiful,
Yes.
and it's the little cooler weather, and so it's
Is
a
there
wonderful time.
entertainment or anything of that nature?
We always have, along with the scenes, what you do, you go through 8 or 9 scenes. And it's
I
a
see.
walking tour.
Yes.
Through 8 or 9 scenes, and then you end with refreshments and music.
Oh, who could end with anything
Yeah.
better?
So it's just a good deal.
Well, that's wonderful.
One last thing that we need to talk about is our Family Saturday, which is going to be on August the 13th.
Very soon.
Very soon. And again, talking about carrying on pretty much where Aaron is going to leave off with his speech on the 10th, putting some of those aspects of rationing and that sort of thing into a hands-on kind of experiential time for families. And so it will be a fun Family Saturday. That's always from 1 to 3 in the afternoon.
Family Saturday. It's on the 17th?
The 13th.
13th. Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, there we are. Well, here to recap, Brown Bag on the 10th. Fall lecture series on the
22nd.
22nd. And the gallery still has the Keep 'em Flying exhibit.
Oh, yes,
and
and we
that's
encourage,
until November.
yeah, through Veterans Day weekend.
I see, and that's available in case folks haven't gone. It's there to see, and it's
Absolutely.
worth seeing.
Well, thank you.
Very much so. Very
Thank
much
you.
so. And can people get a guided tour of the Humphrey Heritage Village other than the Lantern
They sure can.
tour?
We have set tour times,
Do you?
and then as required or as necessary, we'll go any other time, but we have tours at 11, at 1:30, and at 3.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andi, so much. And to our viewers, thank you for watching, and go visit the museum. It's a cool thing to do, and it's cool inside.
Yeah.
This has been Community Talk.